I got hairy after a while there.
Saw the little restart.
You got hairy? Well, you restarted it once. You're like, okay, I guess we're doing a second intro for some reason.
Doing it live.
Yeah. You hosting this bitch or am I?
It's all you, big dog.
You start.
Matthias should have some energy saved up from.
I was gonna say Matthias hasn't been here for a couple weeks. I feel like this is on you.
We almost had. Okay, fine. Well, welcome to the Nightcap. I'm Matthias with Levi and Dylan. We're back again. I'm back again after 2 weeks. We almost had a complete disaster on Sunday. I was watching the old footballs, and my computer decided to take a shit. And I had to reinstall Windows, start all over again fresh. The thing runs better than ever before. We're back. Other than I'm using basically a 2-year-old microphone that is used at McDonald's to run this thing. So other than that, all is well. And the cycles are 4-0, and I got a fucking fly flying around here. Cycles are 4-0, ranked 16th, so life is good. After a 20-0 win at Houston, which was basically very rough to watch the entire way till we put the Anaconda stranglehold on them. I don't know. I never felt like it was like 3-0, like we're gonna lose this game, but it was just very unpleasant and boring.
I feel like Fred here in the comments has really captured the essence of today's show. Is crap. Fartskopf is back.
Hey, easy.
Honestly, Fartskopf is one of my top 5 favorite names that I've ever heard for anybody ever. It's pretty good.
It is a good one.
It's a good one.
I just embrace it at this point.
I know. Well, you should, honestly. It's fun. It's just funny. That's all it is. Yeah, the Houston game last weekend though was like, it was never like miserable where it's like, oh fuck me, we're gonna fucking lose this or whatever. But it was just like, oh my god, just
do something.
Just do something and put them away. Like we know we're not gonna lose this thing. Nobody here thinks we're gonna lose this. But good lord, at least like pretend like we're a better team for a little while.
We try to lose those games sometimes, though. So I don't know. It was frustrating.
You heard it here first, folks. Dylan admits to trying to lose games.
No, I don't mean try. I mean maybe
I don't know.
There was a player or two who maybe did try to lose a couple times.
Cough.
Hey, whoa! We're name dropping now.
I'm sorry. That's public information. I don't even
gambling allegations.
I don't even care.
But yeah, I don't know. It sucked. I think like I don't know. You should blow them out. It was just like slow. Everything sucked.
Yeah.
Like they ran the ball early, which scared me a little bit. And I mean, we ran the ball pretty well the whole time, I think. And there was a lot of different ball carriers, which was good to see. But
yeah,
just like 3-0, man. And then like Higgins makes that insane catch, and we've got, man downfield and stuff like that. Like that kind of stuff will get you beat against a good team.
Well, and if you go back and look at the replay, Dylan Barrett was exactly 2.9 yards downfield.
Right. He was not. I've seen a couple of those this year. It seems like they just like to throw it.
I think they're just it's because RPOs are just such a staple of the college game now that I think they're just watching it like a hawk. Like every year the refs have something new that they're just watching. I think that's one of them. I don't know. He was not an illegal man downfield though.
It sucks because that was SportsCenter top 10.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I think we really need to address the elephant in the room on all this. Is why I think it was 3-0 for so long. Is the early part of the early game struggles, I guess you could say, of Rocco Beck trying to find his footing.
Yeah.
No pun intended, because some of it is kind of the footwork side of things where he's just not driving the ball off on his feet. But I don't think I'm necessarily like gonna shit can Rocco by any means over it, but it's certainly a thing that has trended for 4 games and usually seems to work it out. But Houston, I don't know. It worked it out, but it didn't work out at the same time. It was just sluggish in the passing game all game long.
Like he's been that way pretty much every game this season so far, where just the first quarter has been rough. I mean, we saw it against Iowa and North Dakota. I mean, outside of the initial touchdown pass to North Dakota, which on tape was probably not a great idea to throw that ball, but I mean, it worked out. But not a great ball to throw or whatever. And against Iowa, we saw it a little bit. Now, part of that was he got backed up against the end zone a little bit, and that's tough to work out of. But then we saw it against Arkansas State where he was a little rough to start, and now we saw it against Houston. So I'm not really sure what the deal is because it's not like you could say the sophomore slump thing is interesting, but you look at his second halves, and in the second half, he's slinging it. He looks like the Rocco back we all know he can be in like every second half of every game this season, where he's looks great. He's super accurate. He's making great throws. So I honestly really don't know what the deal is with this, why he's starting so slow. Because I mean, like clearly he's not hurt. He's not. It's not like he's regressing. I mean, he's still playing in the second half like we always thought he could. So I'm not really sure because like I know the last couple games I saw. I remember seeing one in Arkansas State. I saw one for sure last weekend against Houston where early in the game, I think it was actually poor Eli Green was out there again, but both times it was to his left and he's just running like a 10-yard out route and he's just kind of parking it on the sideline waiting for the throw. And Rocco sails it by, throws it over his head by 10 feet. So I don't know what's going on here. Cause then like in the third quarter, he hits that throw. So I don't know if it's just taking a while for Rocco to kind of get his bearings on what's all going on or what. I don't know if you've got any insight on this, Dylan, at all. Or
yeah, I don't really know. You would like to say like, oh, a young quarterback, like just get settled in every game. It seems like, and you'd like it to happen faster. But like, he might be young in terms of years, but like he's played a lot of football, so it's interesting. I mean, you hope he breaks out of it when you do play somebody that will beat the shit out of you in the first half, if you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
Well, and Baylor's a team too this season that has had good second halves where like if you start slow and you get down and let's say you're tied at halftime or something like that Baylor is not a team that is now granted, Iowa State is a second half team and always has been, always probably will be as long as John Haycock is the defensive coordinator. But Baylor is not a team that's gonna willingly, climb into the boa constrictor that is John Haycock's defense. They've got athletes on the outside where they can keep pushing, and they've shown this season that they're willing to play 4 quarters and keep pushing you until the very, very end. So if part of the being a second half team is you got to be able to be willing to outwill and kind of just beat just put the other team into submission at some point. But if you're down 7 at halftime because you got slow start and they got a little bit less slow start, that makes it tough.
Yeah, I mean, last week I thought it was over. I thought it was gonna be a blowout, and I mean they had a chance at the end. So
yeah,
I think like we talk a lot of shit about them. I don't know if they're as bad as maybe they look on paper right now.
Well, I mean they're a weird Hail Mary away from beating Colorado, which I mean they should have beat Colorado. They're now granted you can talk about how poorly that was defended and like why the hell was the safety 20 yards away from the ball he should have been defending.
Well, they brought pressure.
Yeah.
And like on the wrong side of it was all messed up. Like it was weird.
It was messed up enough where it's like that might be kind of fluky. Yeah. So I'm not sure exactly what happened there. And then who's the other loss there? I'm trying to remember now. But
Utah was close.
Utah was close, where they they were a couple plays away from winning that one too, and then Utah would have 2 conference losses, which would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're totally right that Baylor is not as bad as people think they are, because I think going into the season, a lot of people thought Baylor was going to be bad, and then there's some confirmation bias, like, well, they made a dumb play to lose to Colorado, who we also thought was going to be bad, and we think they're probably good, but we don't really know. And then they lose to Utah because of some bad plays or whatever. So there's like some confirmation bias, like, oh, Baylor lost 2 conference games already. They're bad, but they're, like you said, they're really not. I mean, it's just like the 2019 season and the 2021 season where they're they may end up being one of the best 7-5 teams in the country type of thing. They're definitely better than their record, though. I would agree with you there.
So if you want to, I'm going to spin it back to Rocco really quick, but if you wanted to not be concerned about Rocco, you could, there's two sides of my story here. One is concerned and one is not concerned and the other one is concerned. So if you want to take the non-concerned route, you can look at his completion percentage compared to last year. It's up 4 percentage points. His average yards per completion is down 0.1, which so basically the same. And his overall quarterback rating is actually improved from 150 to 154. Now so the rating and QBR, two different stats here, but so let's go to a game by game comparison. Completion percentage. This is the concerning part. Against North Dakota, he completed 76% of his passes. Against Iowa, 65. Against Arkansas State, down to 61. And then last week at 60. His quarterback rating for the entire year is about 64-ish. So he's actually he's less accurate as the games have gone on this season. So he's in terms of last year, he's right on pace to be better than last year, but he's also he's being less accurate as the season has gone on.
Right.
And I mean, that's not all accuracy, right? You get fooled by the coverage every now. Yeah.
Any of those like first tier raw stats are always a little bit misleading, like completion percentage and passing yards.
I just thought,
and like, granted, we've played like weird games. Like, other than Arkansas State, they've all been kind of weird. Like, something's been
everything has been weird, right? Like the North Dakota game's a weird FCS team that has a new offensive coordinator. And also, shout out North Dakota, who's putting up like 80 points a game against everybody else except for Iowa State. They're probably going to be like the number 1 ranked FCS team at some point this season. They're really good.
Yeah, let's just take a quick peek at North Dakota.
Their scores that they've been winning by are outrageous.
That's what I mean. Everything's weird, right? They have this crazy time of possession, and they're just driving the ball. Like, that was weird. And then like the 3-0 against Houston forever was just weird. And then like,
the Iowa game's always a weird one.
We start on the 1 yard line every drive.
Well, and Iowa schematically is different than anybody we play. And Arkansas State apparently held out players because they knew they were going to get their ass beat. I don't like.
I mean, that was the only game where it was just like, okay, we go in, we blow them out, we leave. Like, happened how we expected. Everything else, it's been like weird.
So North Dakota plays North Dakota State this weekend at 2:30 on ESPN Plus. If anybody's in the lots and want to watch that real quick, that actually might be a fun game. But yeah, North Dakota put up 72 points last week against Murray State, has basically obliterated everybody since then. And fun fact, our friends out east there who were bragging about scoring 41 or 42 or whatever against Illinois State, North Dakota State beat Illinois State 42-10.
There you go.
Yeah. So North Dakota.
So Iowa's offense.
Hold on. North Dakota hasn't played Illinois State.
Oh, okay.
So they beat number 4 Montana 27-24. Then they beat Idaho State 52-28. They beat San Diego 41-24. Shout out to San Diego and Real Mitchell, former San Diego receiver. And then Murray State 72-35. Real Mitchell. What a name.
Yeah.
Check in at our Unite Panthers. They barely beat St. Thomas, Minnesota, a smaller division school.
Well, St. Thomas is the one that's like they were Division 3 last year, and they jumped up to FCS. And I think they have like a roadmap to become.
They are in the Pioneer League, huh?
Yeah. St. Thomas, like they were Division 3 like last year, or Division 2 or something like that. They just jumped up, and from what I understand is there's a roadmap that they have to get to FBS in like 5 to 10 years. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that's going to work. But
no, the comments, bro. The comments.
Oh, what we got here?
Oh man,
what the hell is this? What the fuck is this? What is this?
My headset.
Oh, you know what? I see it now. I see it. You do look like a drive-through guy.
I said it at the begining. I didn't beginning of the show.
Was not paying attention. I did.
I don't know if McDonald's makes hats big enough for that noggin, dude.
Hey, I was gonna say you.
So what they did, that's how they figured out their extra large drink sizes. They put it over Matias's head, and if it can fit, then it's the extra large.
I would say that's impressive. I've never seen anybody use the last hole on a snapback before. I've never seen that.
That's me. Every fucking thing.
Oh yeah, I thought I saw that thing is hanging on for dear life, isn't it? There, but
Mm-hmm.
to be fair, I shouldn't be
Data
talking.
like.
I'm also on the second snap left, so I shouldn't be talking too much.
It's like on the last hole, but they're like,
oh my
like
god,
stretching. Like
yeah, I mean that's like, yeah, that's
I'm
Leonardo
going
DiCaprio hanging on the door as the Titanic's going down.
Going 2-hole to be the same as Levi if I can get this figured out. So fuck all you.
Well, it looks like it's going
they
well
make
for
that
you.
like
it came undone.
They have those big noggin hats or whatever that you can like. Like, hey, this one's for like the big people, and those pop up on my Facebook all the fucking time.
Oh, I do.
I'm just like.
One time last summer, I searched for like XL size hats, and now I get ads for them all the time. Like, here, I heard you had a fat fucking head. You want this hat?
Fuck you, dude.
Fuck you, man. It's funny, those. I don't know. It's just anytime because the problem is everybody else wears normal. Do you have a normal size hat, or do you wear like big hats?
No, I have a regular. Like,
oh, you have a tiny head.
It's not tiny. I have a regular like.
You heard it here.
What a loser! Tiny head.
Dylan Sander has a tiny fucking head.
Like
big man, tiny head. What is
my
this?
football helmets are large? They're just regular size. Like large is like the standard football.
I have a helmet like a game, like somebody's helmet, and like this had to have been a kicker. This thing is like it's like a child size helmet. It's crazy.
Dude, can I get this through your head? The size of the human does not make the size of their head. That's not how it works.
No, but there's no way. That's an
300 pounds.
That's an 8th grader. There's no way that fits anybody.
But by that standard, I should have twice the size of head that you guys.
I just assume that head size is proportional to body size.
That's what people do with like.
Everyone just looks like a wee me, where it has like a huge fucking hot air balloon head.
Everybody does that with age too. They're like, "Oh, this guy is like 7 foot tall. He must be like 60 years old." They're like,
I've never heard that one.
They're like, "What are you like 40?" And I'm like,
"What the fuck are you talking to?" That thing's like,
dude. Everywhere I go, they're like, "Wait, you're in your 20s? I thought you were like 40. Like you're so big." And I'm like, "What? You think you just keep growing?
Just keep growing forever?"
Like a fucking Benjamin Button scenario type thing.
Worst movie ever. I hate that movie.
Never
Benjamin
watched
Button can
it.
go fuck itself. It's
Reverse
terrible.
Benjamin Button.
I don't know. It was just dumb movie. David Fincher's only miss ever.
But Rocco wearing tape on his shoulder, injury, maybe tweak something.
Also, KT tape is kind of a style thing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I mean, just like turf tape.
But if he's not doing it and then he does it,
right?
I don't honestly. If his shoulders...
Brees Hall wore turf tape on his entire arm for the entirety of his playing career, and we play on fucking grass. Like, it's a fashion statement.
Honestly, I don't know if that's really affecting him whatsoever.
I really don't think
it could be, but he's been.
I haven't seen any throws that he's made where I'm like, oh, that was kind of weird and underthrown.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not even concerned, not remotely concerned. But also, guys get dinged up during the season. Shit happens. Like, that doesn't mean he's like hurt where he can't throw. It just means
he might be dead by the end of next week.
He could be dead. He could have an upper body. God, can you even imagine? You know, we know how bad lower body injuries can be. Can we like? Can you imagine if he said he has an upper body injury? Like, is he fucking dead? Is he missing a head?
Time will tell.
Yeah, who knows?
Now I gotta go look at this. I'm gonna see if you need. Let me go to. Keep talking. I'm gonna see if I can find some Rocco Beck pictures of last week.
Oh, like him wearing a KT tape or something like that. Well, okay. So a couple things that Campbell did give injury updates on, though. Steve O'Klotz, he actually traveled last week, and they thought he was going to play, but he didn't for whatever reason. Just a game time decision. So Campbell said he thought he would be back this week.
Oh, he was there. There's the tape.
John Klosterman, the linebacker that went down, it sounds like he's a long-term injury. They're not sure if he's done or not. That's not great, obviously, for a linebacker. Great.
Awesome.
Not awesome, but he did say that Will McLaughlin is getting closer, but he's not ready in the next week or two or anything like that. So I don't know if maybe you get to homecoming in 3 weeks and you're like, okay, maybe he's practicing by then or something like that. I don't know. I mean, we've gotten essentially zero information about what is wrong with Will McLaughlin, I guess, but you'd like to get him back. And obviously we have not heard anything about Caleb Bacon, but you know, the linebackers need to stop getting hurt. This sucks.
No, it could be good though. Like I mean, not now, obviously, but you get those two guys back like in a few weeks, and you're getting in the middle of the season, and you're in the grind, and you're in the meat of the schedule, and now you've got your two linebackers back, and they're fresh, like completely fresh, barely played at all this year. So I mean, as long as they come back healthy before we lose a game, it could be beneficial.
Well, and we talked about that a couple weeks ago, like after the Iowa game, I think is what it was when we were talking about it. How, oh yeah, it was because it was in relation to the bye week too. Like how you got all these like Caleb Brzezina and Cooper Ebel, the freshmen, getting tons and tons and tons of snaps. And honestly, Houston was probably their weakest game, but I mean they've been really good. Like Caleb Brzezina and Cooper Ebel have both been very, very good this season. And like Caleb Brzezina is playing like a senior linebacker, but he's a freshman. And you know, so they're getting tons and tons and tons of game reps, and Caleb Brzezina wasn't even supposed to play there. You know, Caleb Bacon was supposed to be in the middle and all this or whatever, but they're getting tons and tons of game reps. So as the linebacker room gets, as long as they can tread water, that secondary is plenty good enough to clean up some messes, and the D line has been pretty good. You know, the other 8 guys around them are good enough where they can clean up a little bit of some freshman mistakes and stuff like that. Where, you know, it's nice having Bo Freeler out there basically being another linebacker.
Dude, did you see the replay?
What was that?
That Malik Verdon forced fumble on that play up the middle on the third quarter?
Where he punched it out. Sick.
Fucking textbook. Like
sick.
Textbook.
Yeah.
Secondary is great.
Oh yeah, the secondary is fantastic. I mean, I'm sure that like a blue blood has a better, like they have a group of safeties that can be, you know, that can be mentioned with Iowa State, or maybe is better than Iowa State's, but like, I don't think I wouldn't trade Freeler, Verdon, and Cooper for another group of 3 safeties in the country. I wouldn't trade them.
Well, the good news for this secondary is that while they are
3 starting corners, which is super awesome.
While they are very good and stuff like that, they still haven't had like a full like run of a game where it's like tested them at all this year.
Yeah,
so that's coming this week.
Yeah, Baylor's gonna be the first team that can test them, that can really test them vertically.
So I'm like, I'm not like worried, obviously, and like some people have been talking about like how they're like, oh, this is the first test, like things could happen. I'm more of like, hey, let's have a test, keep building on getting better and in stride, because they are going to keep getting tested every week until be at their best going down the stretch here. This is a good. If I had to pick a team like had good guys at wide receiver to ramp up against, like Baylor at this point in time, probably.
Yeah, Baylor can't really run the ball very well, so they're going to have to throw the ball to put points on the board. So I mean, they're going to have to basically throw directly at Iowa State's secondary. So you know, based on what we know about the secondary, you feel pretty good about that. You really like your chances with, you know, if you're asking Baylor to throw into Miles Purchase, Darian Porter, Bo Freeler, Malik Verdon, and Jeremiah Cooper, you feel pretty good about your chances there. I mean, sure. I mean, in the end, offense always has a slight advantage over defense just because they have the ball and they know what they're doing, and the defense is trying to figure out what they're doing. But, you know, so like, it's not that they'll like Baylor will never hit a 15-yard pass or something like that, or never hit a single big play or something like that. But it's, you know, one or two big play, like one big play is not a big deal. It's really not. I mean, sometimes shit just happens or whatever. But, you know, this is a game where if you're looking at back at this game and say, okay, Baylor did almost nothing in the passing game, you're like, okay, we can anoint this like the best secondary in Iowa State history type of thing.
Well, they're going to throw the ball 50 times.
Oh, guarantee it. Yeah, guarantee it.
And the guy isn't scared of throwing interceptions either. Like the 2 last week. If they throw 2 interceptions, they're going to have a hard time winning the game.
They're going to be fucked if they throw 2 interceptions.
So yeah, Sawyer Robertson played
and if a little bit last year. Like Finn didn't play at all. Yeah, Finn's hurt. Yeah.
They threw it 48 times last week.
That's so many.
And they had like 5 receivers with more than 70 yards.
Yeah, they'll spread it around. They're not afraid to go vertical. Baylor, for even when they're bad, Baylor always has really good athletes at receiver. That's just what they've always had. They've always had speed on the outside. And
yeah, it's nothing new.
No. Fortunately, you've got Darian Porter out there that can hang with it basically anybody step for step. And he's probably bigger than a lot of the receivers too.
So Robertson's also a pretty sneaky runner too. So
is he?
Yeah, he's got some speed. If he gets out in the open field, he's kind of one of those quick guys that can get away from him. And he had a 45-yard touchdown run against I don't know who the fuck did he do that against. Was it? It was Colorado. So he's got some wheels on him.
That's hard to defend when you throw it 50 times a game. Like,
yeah,
you're like selling out. Like, hey, we know what they're gonna do. We know their strengths, and then if you got a guy that can move a little bit, it
sucks.
Yeah, it does.
But fortunately, the defensive line has been pretty good this season. They've done a pretty good job of getting the quarterback. There's been a couple times like we saw against Houston on teams that like. Well, and it's tricky. Houston kind of had a double whammy there too, where they were willingly running QB power and stuff like that. Which QB power, I mean, Arkansas State did it too, actually.
Well, and Baylor's going to do it.
And Baylor, Arkansas State and Houston both were kind of unique and also the same as each other because basically both of them, their entire game plan is to rotate two quarterbacks and run QB power, QB power, QB power, QB power, and that's how they're going to try to do something on offense, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And that is tough to contain over the course of an entire game. But it feels bad when you see a quarterback, go QB power and then he busts off a 12-yard run or something like that. But if you're taking 5 10-yard QB runs and in return you're throwing for 60 yards for total in the game, you're fine with some of those QB runs. Like you're going to win the battle of attrition doing that. I mean, Baylor 1 does not have a second QB to keep rotating run QB power. But it's one of those, like Baylor is going to attack Iowa State vertically. They can't really run the ball. So it'll be a different test than they've gotten. I think I have complete and total confidence in the roster and John Haycock and Deion Broomfield to put together a good.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who Baylor's
Hank Potier and stuff like that. Or Poteet. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
I think Baylor's third quarterback is this Nate Bennett. He's the only other quarterback that's played this year. Not that anything random, but if they had to get into a situation.
Well, they have another quarterback on the roster. I guess that's good. But I think Baylor is going to try to do kind of what West Virginia tried to do in 2018, where they're going to try to hit some stuff early to try to take the crowd out of it and to try to get Iowa State playing from behind. I think that's probably what they'll try to do. Cause I mean, when you're on the road, especially with Baylor, they kind of got nothing to lose. I think Iowa State's like a 2-touchdown favorite or something. I think Iowa State's like a 14.5 point favorite, I think. Which, I wouldn't bet on that. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
It's at 12 right now.
Is it 12? Yeah, I still wouldn't. If it got under 10, I'd probably take Iowa State, but
12
not at 12.5. Not that I'm a betting man or anything,
hey,
but
a lot of people didn't want to take the 21 point favorite against Arkansas State.
Well, and we were 14.5 point favorites against Houston. I
bet us I bet us to cover against Houston, and never a doubt, my friends.
That was the yuckiest cover of all time.
Yeah,
that
felt great.
That felt terrible. That was awful.
Houston hasn't scored a touchdown in 8 quarters now.
They have not. They have not scored a big touchdown in Big 12. Not, of course, scored a point in Big 12 play yet. Their offense is incredibly bad. They will not face an offense that bad for the rest of the season. Not even close.
It scared me at first. I'm telling you, it busted out a couple runs, and I was like, "Oh God."
Yeah, I don't know if I ever got to the point where I was like worried that they were going to keep it close for a long time, or like through in perpetuity. Because you could just tell that their passing game just had nothing. Like they just
But that's the number one. Like that is when you're playing an inferior team. That rule number one is don't let them hang around because that's how you can get.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But we ran the ball well, which was good. I mean, yeah. I'm not sure of the stoutness of their front seven, but
Houston's defense is actually pretty good. Like it's not great, but it's solid. Like for as bad as their offense is at bottom of FCS level as far as their offense goes, but their defense is a Big 12 level defense. It's a solid enough defense. So, being able to run on them and stuff like that is notable. It's not like, all we did was against Houston type of thing. They have a solid enough D that you can feel good about doing some good things offensively. And I think we did. There was times where I thought the offensive line was a little bit, I don't know, they weren't getting a lot of push, but there was the first quarter. I think they started the game pretty well, getting some good push in the running game, and then they finished well, I think. I mean, I still think the offensive line's a work in progress, but
Yep.
But
the second quarter was probably the worst quarter of football I've seen.
It was bad.
It was boring as hell.
It was pretty bad. But Jalen Travis, I believe, started the entire game. He played
James Neal was in a little bit.
He was in a little bit, but it's very clear to me that Jalen Travis is intended to be the starter going forward at that position. And I thought he played pretty well. Trevor Burr got in, played some good snaps. I don't know what the battle between him and Dylan Barrett looks like, because I think Dylan Barrett's been fine.
I think Dylan Barrett got put in the doghouse for.
I think he did too. He had a couple really visible penalties that game.
So we'll see.
What's our rare Matias not having tech issues or Iowa State fans coordinating color out games? Yeah, fair enough, honestly.
Well, I have hope for the color game because we did well for the one for the Kansas whiteout, but 60,000 people all wearing white.
Be tough.
How about the Jamie Pollard video? Did you see that? Oh, you didn't see the Rocco Jamie Pollard video?
No, nope. I didn't.
What kind of Iowa State fans are you guys?
Matthias, find it. I think Ben makes a good point here too.
I want to make fun of it, really, because it's kind of cheesy. But
well, yeah, Jamie Pollard's in the video. He's gonna be cheesy. Cable mentioned Steve Klotz is likely gonna be back for the Baylor game. Notice the impact without him versus Houston. I think that's a very fair thing to say. I mean, like, especially in the running game, Steve-O drives a lot of that as far as a lead blocker and things like that go. He does a lot. I mean, just like Dylan did and Sam Buckner before him. And, having a guy out there that really knows their shit and can kind of really drive the running game with a good lead block, I think is more valuable than a lot of people give it credit for.
Yeah, let's not discount the fact that Breece Hall's best season at Iowa State was his second to last season. Just saying. They do but Campbell, they do love to say that about like that kind of guy. Like all those coaches, even like Tom Manning, when I talk to him, like every time I talk to him, they're like, "Oh man, it was so different. Like we just couldn't do what we want to do," and that's what he's referencing with Steve-O. They're like,
they love themselves a good H-back.
And you just have this like, it's part of your game plan, and you don't really. It's like a position where like if you have a guy, you don't really worry about it. You're just like, we can do this and we're not worried about it. Like you don't even think twice about it. And then when you don't have the guy, you're like, oh, well, that didn't work.
Is someone going to cover his spot? Yeah. Yeah. Is Jalen Noel injured?
I don't know where this Jamie Pollard video is.
No, he was just cramping last weekend.
I'll find it for you.
Jalen Noel is just fine. He was just cramping last weekend. And plus, by the time he got to the fourth quarter, when Iowa State started to pull away, there's no reason to play him. I'm 100% on board with the whole Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel go off in the first half and then basically do nothing in the second half of all these games because they don't have to play. I'm totally fine with that. Shout out. Also, I think Jaden Higgins probably he needs to be getting some more love. I mean, like nationally, I think he does, because he's proving to be one of the, like, if Tet McMillan didn't exist at Arizona, he would probably be maybe unanimously the best receiver in the Big 12. He's had an unbelievable year, and he looks completely unguardable right now. I mean, even underneath after the catch, and then if you get him in a jump ball situation in the end zone, I mean, it's no longer a 50-50 ball. It's an 80-20 ball at this point. And frankly, at this point, the only thing that stopped Jaden Higgins from catching touchdowns in the red zone is his own offensive line not being too far downfield.
Instagram, Matthias, Instagram.
Oh, it's on Instagram.
That exists?
It is.
We got cycling games looking ahead already. Imagine this: after Saturday, Iowa State could be 5-0 and in the driver's seat for a potential playoff spot.
I refuse to look ahead.
That team out east should be 3-2, having to book hotels for the Outback Bowl again. It's tough. I mean,
it's up. It is literally.
The good news is that the team is not. The good news: the team is not looking ahead.
Right.
If we look ahead.
And that's the good thing. That being 3-0 last Saturday for so long is good. I think it's like
I think it might have scared him a little bit.
Yeah, it's like
by the way, you can't sleepwalk this.
Yeah, we can't just show up and people are going to lay down for us. Like,
right?
That's not how it works.
Yeah,
But
and Houston is consensus the worst team in the Big 12. I mean, if they can hang with you for a half, anybody else can too.
But the only reason like you said, they're not looking ahead. We're allowed to, but
we're allowed to.
The only reason that we don't make the playoff is because we fucked it up. Like that sounds really like kindergarten, like
we control our destiny. We control our The only way we lose is if we don't score as many points as the other team.
Yeah, right.
You get out there, you see a football stadium. It looks like a football stadium is supposed to look like.
I mean it a little deeper than that. Like the schedule, like everything sets up. Like the next bye week is good. Like if we don't make it to the playoff this year, it's just our own fault. Like we had a game where we just beat ourselves. Like there's no reason. I mean, our only loss, if we have one, should be in the Big 12 championship game, I think.
Well, I mean, if you look at right now, I mean,
nobody's impressive, dude. No, like
the only team right now that you're looking at to be like, oh fuck, that's harder than we thought it was going to be is probably Kansas State, because Kansas State we thought was kind of we at the beginning of the season we thought was going to be a really tough game, and then they kind of sucked to start the season, and we're like, oh, maybe it's not going to be so bad. And
all right, boys, you ready for this?
Now Avery Johnson has confidence.
Did you find it?
Oh, God, I got it.
You got to share the screen, bud.
No, I can't believe you guys didn't see this.
Just wait. I went full download.
So but
you're downloading this. Oh,
no, it's ready to go. Here we go.
Okay.
Without further ado,
I was the quarterback at Iowa State playing catch with the athletics director.
Well, Mondays are usually our day off, so I decided to get a couple reps in today.
Look at it, we haven't dropped one ball yet.
Looks like you're ready for Saturday.
Yes, I am. And it looks like you are too.
Oh yeah, I am.
See you on Saturday for the whiteout.
How many times do you think they had to do the take where they both said "see you on Saturday" for the whiteout?
4.
Where they were to get
over under at 4.5.
I just think it's funny because I've told you guys before that Jamie Pollard he went to a J. Cole concert when I was in college just to try to have something in common with the players,
with the guys,
like reach a level,
yeah.
And then they came back and talked to us after, and he bought a shirt there that said KOD, and he went on this big long story about these like big rocks at his lake house, and they couldn't move the rock, so he like would dig a little bit and get it to fall, and then dig a little bit more and get it to fall, and then he said KOD stands for keep on digging to move the rock. It was like this big long thing, and I was like, oh man. Everybody was like looking around like
that's like the same vibes as the thing from Game Day last season with the let a naysayer know, that from Game Day with Reese Davis.
Are they painting the logo white?
Probably.
Oh, I don't know.
Like, I mean, we one game.
We give him a lot of shit, but like he's a good AD. I mean, there's some things.
I don't think anybody like discounts him like, oh, he's bad at it. I don't think anybody thinks he's bad at his job. He's just kind of a goober.
Yeah, and he means well. He's just
he's just kind of a goober.
Yeah,
and that's cool. Though I am a noted Jamie Pollard critic.
I mean, I'd like to drink a beer at the game. That'd be cool, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I've got complaints beyond the beer, but
dude, I don't even understand, because like where I live, up until like last year, you couldn't buy beer on Sundays, like at the store.
Yeah, that's still a thing down south.
But I mean, you can now as of last year. But
are there still dry counties in Arkansas?
Yeah, but like even while that was going on, you could buy beer at a football game.
Yeah,
like so it's just weird. But
yeah. It is what it is. It just kind of seems like everybody's got a hill they'll die on. It seems like the beer in the stadium is Jamie's hill to die on, which is kind of weird. But especially I think in an era where nationally college football attendance is going down because the TV product keeps getting better and things, and the world is more expensive, so people are less likely to splurge for tickets and stuff like that. I think at some point you got to say, okay, not only can this make us at least a little bit of money, but also it's an amenity that fans want. Is someone going to just randomly decide to get season tickets because all of a sudden they can buy beer at a game? I don't know. Maybe
Probably,
somebody. Maybe somebody will, but like it's more about if you can start giving the fans just some amenities that they want and it enriches the game day experience, they're gonna go home and say they're gonna go home and say, oh man, we talked to their friends that were on the fence about season tickets. And be like, oh man, games are so much fun this year that we saw beer. We had a great time. And then be like, okay, maybe we'll buy tickets and join in. That's exactly what happened with my tailgate group, because we had a few of them that had their own tickets and they were kind of by themselves. Then I had 2 tickets of my own. And then eventually I kind of talked to my parents and they're like, well, why don't you guys get tickets? And you can just get them right next to me. So then they got tickets. And then like a year later, we had another couple come in that was family friends of ours that they got season tickets and joined us. And now we have another family that, we're at I think our tailgate is at 4 vehicles now that we park right next to each other. They're just from people that we've slowly talked into coming, buying season tickets and getting tailgating spots and stuff like that. And I think adding beer to the games is another amenity. Now, we don't need to go into a long discussion about the beer thing. We've discussed that ad nauseum, but I don't know. It's just one of those things. I think you have to be kind of cognizant of that stuff going forward, especially just as we're getting stunningly close to an era where college athletes are going to be essentially employees and they're going to be paid like full-time employees, and that's a budget constraint and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's an interesting thing. It's an unenviable decision to have to make as an AD. I know I wouldn't want to have to be the one in charge of figuring all this out. But anyways, Iowa State football.
Well, if I was the AD, it wouldn't be that hard of a decision.
It's literally just yes.
The beer decision specifically.
Actually, season ticket holders, free beer. Easy. Done.
Yeah, you say free beer for season ticket holders?
Easy. Why not?
No problem.
Probably see ticket prices go up when we do that.
I mean, why not? Beer's not that expensive. In the grand scheme of how much money the university has to make.
For 50,000 people, or for 60,000 people, it's kind of expensive.
Not with that attitude.
Fair enough.
See, Levi, you can do anything you want to do if you put your mind to it.
That's true. It all
you
does
don't have the mindset to get this done.
It takes a can-do attitude, and I appreciate that.
Should we ask him how many signatures we need? I'm sure we could get a lot.
Yeah. Ben wants to know, who do we think is going to get the lion's share of carries on Saturday? Seems like
Jackson's running the ball the best.
More of a 3-down back with Abu as your homer. I mean, frankly, it's kind of been a nice, even 3-way split for the most part. Now, it depends on the game and whoever else, but Arkansas State was kind of the Carson Hansen game, and we saw a bunch of Jalen Jackson against Houston and against Iowa, and we've seen Abu have his games too. So I don't know. I think we're kind of past the. There is not a Breece Hall or a Dave Montgomery on the roster that you're going to hand the ball to 25 times a game and just roll with it.
Hot hand.
It's hot hand.
I think we kind of assumed Abu would be that guy this year, but he just really hasn't, and that's fine.
He hasn't had to be.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with a running back by committee. In general, I think football is moving away from the bell cow running back, where it's just one guy that's getting 20, 25, 30 carries a game. There are examples of, like Taj Brooks at Texas Tech, RJ Harvey at UCF. There are guys that are doing the bell cow thing, but it's not like it used to be where like every team had, this is their guy.
I think it's just so much beating that a running back can take through a hole, and stuff like that. So it's better just to. I don't know what kind of holes you're going through that you're taking a beating, but anywho, that is just wear and tear on the body, keeping pressure longer. The NFL, they're doing the same thing. I mean, just look at the Detroit Lions with Gibbs and Dave. Literally every NFL team, quite honestly, other than the Chiefs, who all their running backs are dead.
Yeah.
Actually, the entire Chiefs roster is dead.
Taylor Swift's going to be out there next week.
You know what's funny, Fred? He said we haven't had a blizzard. That's why Abu hasn't had a fantastic game. Last game in our group chat, I had half a dozen people kind of like jokingly calling Abu Sama a blizzard merchant. And I'm not kidding. 30 seconds after those messages came in, Abu breaks the long run off. And I was like, I'm gonna find a beefy 5-layer burrito to shove up the ass of every single person that called him a blizzard merchant.
Maybe
the whiteout's the game.
Maybe. Yeah, Blizzard. There you go.
That Kansas State guy is like beating that thing into like the ground. Like now he's like, if Iowa State wins, I'm gonna be like a Tim Walz friend or something. Like it's like you had your moment.
You had your moment.
Did he say that today?
I think.
Yeah, that's like the school shooter reference. Did you see that?
No, gosh, there's no way that's good.
Well, last night Tim Walz said, "I'm friends with school shooters."
Oh yeah,
on the vice presidential debate.
That's right. Yeah. Gosh, I didn't watch it, but I heard about that. Yeah. Anyways, so football.
He backtracked today. He backtracked.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is actually a nice point. Ben come with lots of great comments today. Shout out Carson Brown. Carson Brown I think, is a walk-on from Ankeny. Got a couple catches against Houston. And one was a big first down in the second half that kept the drive going. That ended up in a Jaden Higgins touchdown catch, I believe. Jayhawk fans said if Kansas lost, they would eat the burrito.
But yeah, the Kansas State guy, like that, it's getting old at this point. Like he's beat it into the ground. It
was funny when Larry was doing the Taze nuts thing, but then everyone else is like, "Oh, now I'm going to do something stupid if my team loses."
So like when I do it like during basketball season, like if Iowa State wins, like they're down like 10 in the second half. Like if Iowa State wins this game, I'll climb the clock tower and Welch. I'm like, that's like it's part of my like reverse juju of this game. Like it's send it back. And like I did it for the Iowa game where it's like, if Iowa State wins this, and I never tweeted it, it was just like my brother-in-law, like we had a party at their house. I was like, yeah, if Iowa State wins this game, I'm fucking climbing that tree out there. Well, they won, and I'm like, fuck. Now I gotta climb this fucking tree.
But you climbed the tree, and that's the important part.
I never tweeted it, but I'm like, hey, if Iowa State wins or if Iowa State scores here, I'm gonna cut off my right arm, like just jokingly, but. I do it every time, like we're like.
Yeah, the Florida State guy didn't follow up with his. That's why they can't win a game.
Yeah, it's bad juju. I don't know. Yeah, people need to stop doing that shit. Like, whatever. It's not funny anymore.
I'm gonna keep doing it because I've been saying that.
Well, yeah, but doing it
last 10 years.
Doing it like in the middle of the game is like as a reaction to something is. That's fine, but like
kick a box of puppies is like I got that's another
one. You've used that one a few different times. Ben says, when are we gonna see Wide Right Natty Light merch?
Talk to him.
Wait, funny story.
Hold on. He's like,
yeah, you gotta go this way. Okay, so here's the deal with that. We used to do merch with AHF merch. We did a lot of stuff. We did a few NIL deals for like Sammy Williams and Connor Guess and a few other people. And eventually that kind of just became a kind of a pain in the butt for me for a number of different reasons. But then specifically with Wide Right Natty Light merch, the tricky part with that is that because SB Nation owns the trademark to Wide Right Natty Light. So we can't really sell Wide Right Natty Light apparel with the actual brand on it without getting SB Nation's approval, and then we have to like cut them royalty checks and stuff like that. It's a lot of fucking around.
But we could give it away, no?
That I mean, we could if we like printed up like 5 shirts and gave them away, I think we probably would be fine.
Yeah.
We can probably make that happen for a game or something. We can like if we go to the Big 12 title game or something like that, we'll print off some shirts and do a giveaway or something like that.
Oh, there you go. That's fucking Kansas State fan right here. He's like, yeah, we win the Big 12 championship game. Free shirts. Mm-hmm.
I feel like giving out free shirts and shoving a burrito up my ass are two different things.
Yeah, I mean maybe a little.
I mean, it says you know.
yeah, same. Same
concept.
Yeah. So the AHF merch, maybe. The part about it right now though is like I don't really have like a good way to sell it because I had an actual official legal business set up to do all that bad kick. It was bad kick apparel, and I've since shut that down. So there's a lot of stuff that goes along with that. It's not that we could never do the AHF, and we could always just subcontract that out to a printer.
I still laugh at that Iowa football players podcast with him and his wife. Where the wife went on this thing about how like the University of Iowa State made the AHF logo, and like she was like this is so stupid. They didn't have the balls, or there's like some rant right before Iowa State played on their podcast. I can't remember what player it was. It's a former player, but she's like, yeah, the university made this logo and they like did a poor job.
Oh,
of
it was James Vandenberg's wife.
There you
That's
go.
what it was. James Vandenberg's wife.
It's like, bitch.
She's like, the university made this logo and it's dumb. And it's like, excuse me, who made that logo?
See, with like donating to the We Will stuff is like the same deal, right? Like with
as far as what?
The logos and
well, selling stuff with the We Will logo on it. Yeah, we'd have to get prevent.
I mean, like wide right stuff.
To sell it to, like,
for charity,
specifically to donate to We Will.
Yeah.
I mean, I would probably I think they would probably approve us to do that, but we'd still have to probably give a cut to SB Nation.
And then they'd shut our website down right after it.
Yeah. It's a bad joke, Matthias.
Can I say that on here?
I don't know. But of course, it's not like it's not public news that SB Nation has been shutting down blogs over the last few years. We are not as to my knowledge, we are not in danger of getting shut down. I just want to clarify that.
No, start the rumor now.
That's true. We could. To be fair,
I would rather do something like that to give money to We Will.
Yeah, rather than just
give them money for no reason. Yeah,
we can get more creative with all that stuff. The answer to can you get AHF merches? Maybe we will look into it because since I don't really want to run it myself anymore, but we could reach out to whoever the printer that Cyclone Fanatic uses in Perry. Maybe we could reach out to them and do something with them.
If you shove a 5-layer burrito up your ass, we will make AHF
logos. And Larry eats it.
Well,
and Larry has to eat it.
But it's the AHF logo, so it's got to be like a corn cob or something, like a full unshucked corn cob or something like that, with with all the fucking shit on the outside.
With all the fucking shit on the outside.
Yeah.
Very nice agronomical.
The husk.
God damn.
It's got the husk on the outside. I
got this corn cob.
I thought you were referring to actual shit.
Yeah, I mean that's you take it. I knew what he was going for, but
no, I was going for the husk. I honestly I just blanked on it. Actually, my biggest flub, public flub as far related to agriculture was when the Field of Dreams game was happening. And there was a couple Yankees players, I think, that went out to the field and actually tried to bite into an ear of corn, but they didn't realize it was field corn. But I accidentally tweeted out that it was seed corn and not field corn. And holy shit, I had 40 farmers in my fucking mentions. Yeah, it's not seed corn, you goddamn idiot. It's fucking field corn. And I was like, shut up. It's the corn you can't eat off the goddamn cob. Thoughts on apple cider? Apple cider fucking rules. Anybody that doesn't think so is a communist.
You're just drinking it by itself?
I mean, I'll drink it by itself. I'll put booze in it. I don't care. Apple cider is great. Hot apple cider, even apple cider on ice. It's great.
I
usually just smoke meat. Not the kind of meat that Matthias smokes, but cooking on a grill.
Pause. Listen here, Mr. fucking tight end. I think I know where he's going with
this. A different guy. All right.
But he was gone for 2 weeks, dude. He's got to get some.
Yeah, that's true. That's honestly
maybe 6'9" and much larger than me, but I'll at least take one swing.
I got a couple bad body parts. You can find my weak spots.
Yeah.
What was that? What's that? Where the Okoboji Grill in Ames used to be, but they tore it down and made that new restaurant.
The one on Duff.
Yeah, I keep forgetting the name of it all the time, and we used to go there all the time. But shit,
gosh, I couldn't even remember because I remember the old Okoboji Grill. It's right at Lincoln Way and Duff, right?
Yep, and it's right.
I guess I don't know if I knew that it closed down.
Ames, but anyways, so they used
Are you talking about the burger place?
Yeah, Boulder Tap House. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So, and they haven't had it back there since, but they went to, or they had this beer, and I think it might have been called something like apple cider or whatever, but it was like a thicker beer, but it tasted exactly like apple pie shots, and it was the most fucking dangerous thing in the entire world.
The apple Busch Lights are good. It's just like I feel like they're really heavy. Like I can't drink 30 of them.
There's a lot of sugar in it, so you kind of get gut rot from them.
Yeah,
this is what this was, but it was like you drank when you're so good, and you're like down 5. You're like, I know I should probably stop because I'm gonna like die of.
That was actually. Aside from you just not being at my wedding in May, the biggest thing you missed out was I gave a bottle to all of our Wide Right guys. I gave a bottle of apple pie.
Damn.
I gave a bottle of apple pie to everybody.
Let me make
all
this
the
a
Wide Right people that came.
public service announcement on reasons for not having children is because they will stop you from going to events that you need to be at.
Matthias, do you have a fly in front of you?
Dude, I have a lot of them. I'm trying to,
I thought it was on my screen for a second, and I was like, "What the hell is this?"
It's fucking awful.
It's that burrito he took out of his ass.
It's like the shits of having a flood that ruins your entire basement and having to move all your man cave stuff out to a garage.
Yeah,
right here, flies.
Yeah, you'll have that. Shout out still hanging on the AHF thing in the background, right next to your fucking Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Oh Jesus. Yeah, rough.
Yucky.
You see the size of the Notre Dame flag compared to the size of the
I
Iowa State pin?
I got big Iowa State. Fucking look at that. Just chill. Daddy,
all I
chill.
can see here is a Notre Dame flag, so I just
AHF. I got Iowa State back there. I got fucking Frank with the Brees Hall jersey back there, and Iowa State flag there. That's Bears.
Funny enough about Frank back there, he was
Iowa fucking State.
The funny thing about Frank the skeleton back there is he was alive the last time Matthias didn't have computer problems.
This is true. Now he's dead.
All right. I don't know. We gotta do it. I don't know. We're kind of just
we're just rambling.
We're just BSing now. I don't know if we got anything else we want to talk about for the game or not.
What do you got for us?
Also, if anybody that's going there, please, for God's sakes, wear white. I don't know. Like, I feel like anybody that's watching this probably was going to wear white anyways, but please do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's probably the biggest test we've had thus far outside of maybe Iowa. I'm still not really sure what that they are as a football team just yet, but I think Baylor's better than what people think. Have faith in the secondary though, but they're going to throw it 50 times. And I know. Yeah.
If we get 2,000 in the Discord, will Matthias get in the little car? Can we see the little car again? Matthias, I swear to God, if you can even like half fit in that thing, please go live from inside that car one week.
Can you imagine like getting stuck in that?
I can't even, dude. That would be maybe the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life. If you went live from that thing and we could like see like you looking through like smashed into the car and you're like still talking to a mic and you got like the webcam in front of you.
All right.
I can't even begin to describe to you how fucking funny
2,000 on Discord. We're a long ways away from
we're not close to that.
That's not. Let's make it something that's like reachable in the next like.
Let's see. What are we at?
2 months. If Iowa State makes the Big 12 title game,
we're at 1,046. If we get to 1,050 members, Matthias is going to go live from that little tiny car.
1,050. Piss off. I'm saying if Iowa State makes the Big 12 title game,
1,000 members, Matthias is going live from the car.
I can make 4 Discord accounts right now.
Dylan's gonna
1,000. We're gonna go Iowa State Big 12 title game. I will go live from that little tiny car.
Honestly, that's a good one. Like, it's not like, oh, if we go there, we shove a burrito in my ass. Like, no, if we're doing something funny.
I don't know. Honestly, hold on.
Please, no, turn the camera, you son of a bitch.
No.
Oh, you're gonna bring it over. Okay.
No. Like,
yeah,
I don't think I could fit in this thing.
That's not my problem. You committed to it.
It looks like the top comes off. It looks like the top comes off.
Oh,
it does.
There you go.
Okay, it's a convertible. There's no way you can't.
You're gonna ride it with the top down.
Yeah, okay. Well, here's what you do: is you take the top off, you get in, and then you have Allie put the roof back on.
Somebody, we need to screenshot this and put on no context wide right natty light right now.
You're gonna look like 10 pounds of sausage.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna snip this bitch. Let's see here. I'm gonna
get it. You got it.
I got it.
I can't hold this pose forever. Somebody's gonna listen to this podcast tomorrow, and they're like, they have no fucking
This is
idea.
horrific radio. This is horrible radio.
That's fine. So, okay, Iowa State, when it gets to, we'll just do gets to, because if they get to, they're winning it. If Iowa State gets to the Big 12 title game in football, I will go live from this tiny car. And for those of you who will not watch this YouTube video, it is a pink little Tykes car.
If we get to 1,500 on Discord, Matthias has to eat a clone cone. Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh no, eat ice cream.
Go to eat ice cream. And you're just sitting there like, no, not ice cream.
Yeah, oh God, my diabetes.
No. Just like diabetes.
Yeah, diabetes.
Yeah, but
right.
I mean the game.
Yeah. Talk about the football game.
Yeah, Matthias gets back on one podcast, it goes off the rails.
Sorry,
I think
Dylan was trying to talk, and I just start fucking laughing in the background.
I think I don't know. I'm not ever gonna say I'm worried. I'm not ever worried that we're gonna like lose or anything. We know that we can win every single game that we play. It just seems like it's always like worried about which team we're gonna get out the gate. The second half is always the same. Like we're always ready to play in the second half. It's just like hopefully we get the team from every second half in the first half. And like you said, Baylor plays really well in the second half every game this year. So I'd like to see us at least have a little bit of padding going into halftime and then come out and finish it out. But there are some things that we definitely got to get better at. Strength of schedule for us isn't great, obviously, and like the way the conference is like panning out, it's getting worse, it seems. So we're gonna have to take care of business pretty much every week against a team that is probably not as good as we are, or as good as I think we are. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
I think this is a game. So Baylor's defense is not great. Baylor can score some points and stuff like that, but the defense isn't great. This feels like a game where, like, I got to feel like Rocco is probably making it a point to himself to start better, to start these games better. And this feels like a game where Rocco could be like, okay, we're going to get this shit going right away, and we're going to try to do some stuff. We're going to try to get this offense moving right away to start the game, so that way we're not trying to play from behind or something like that. I think this is a good opportunity to get that fast start that we just haven't seen yet this season. I mean, obviously the second halves have always been good, but this is a good opportunity to get off to a fast start and try to put away Baylor early, because Baylor is a team that, like, if they start getting desperate and have to throw 10 yards downfield every play just to keep up type of thing, I would stay feast on that. But you got to do that. And to do that, you're going to have to get off to a good start. So this feels like an opportunity to do that.
I hope we can run the ball like really well, because when you play against a team that throws the ball 50 times a game, that is a really good way to just basically not ever give them a chance to be in the game, is if you're running the ball well and you control the clock and you own the time of possession throughout the game, and they have 3 and out after 3 and out because that's all they can do is throw the ball. So I think the running game would be big. I hope, like, first couple of drives, whether they're successful or not, whether we get points on the board or not, I'd like to see, like, push up front and, like, kind of like, okay, you get that feeling when you watch a football game, like from the jump, you're like, man, like that team is just pushing the other team back. Like you can kind of see it really early on. So I hope that that's the case. And like I said, a team that throws it 50 times a game, if you can run the ball, then you're going to have a hard time to lose. So,
yep. Yeah. Matthias?
I think I'm just basically what I write every fucking game preview is I kind of just want to see the offensive line continue to grow. While I do think they've been better the last 2 weeks, I still think in moments in time where they could be that team that takes over a full-blown game, they take a step backwards and allow, push back into the offensive backfield and all those sorts of things, and just not a whole lot of running room, So while I do think the offensive line is pass blocked well, I still think there's a ton of improvement in the run game. So for me, this just could be another game for the offensive line to grow. And then I also want to see the linebackers kind of have a better time tackling compared to what they had last week. They were, in terms, if you really want to take a whole lot of stock in the Pro Football Focus tackling grades, you could do that if you want, but they were the lowest graded of the year. So let's just, they're going to be tested, I think, a little bit more this year just because they might have to go out and cover passes and things like that. So every week for them is just going to be another test. And obviously, when you have another guy that went out last week, waiting for more people to get healthy, I think it's just going to be more of a taller task every week. So growth from those two positions, I think Iowa State is the better team, obviously. You're at home, wide out, pretty good environment. I don't know. Give me the Clones by 14.
Give me Iowa State 31-17.
Yeah, I think Baylor will make a couple plays. I mean, it's probably inevitable. So I'm gonna go. I think it might be there might be a little scoring this weekend. Be 37-24. I don't have to say who I'm picking because I'm not like Matthias. I don't ever pick the opposing team to win.
Yeah, what a shit.
Hey, easy.
It worked, I guess.
It did. There was a method to the madness. You just
it's the only reason that Iowa State's undefeated right now, actually.
Yeah.
Correct. See, you just didn't understand the method to the madness. Now you do.
Matthias is going to come back with a nightcap. We're going to lose, and then he's going to never be allowed to come back on again.
But we were 2-0 with me on the nightcap still too.
And we were also 2-0 without you on the nightcap. So
either way,
as soon as your record dips below perfect on you with you being on the nightcap, you're gone, bud, because your record off the nightcap is perfect.
It's
wait, but how many games has Iowa State lost with you on the nightcap? Not this season, in general.
A lot.
How many have they lost with Dylan Sainer on the nightcap?
Well, I can tell you this. The amount that Iowa State has lost with me on the nightcap and Levi is exactly the same.
That's correct. That is correct. That's absolutely correct.
And there was a 2-28 basketball season mixed in there. So
that was a nightmare.
We got a lot of L's inside this podcast.
You want to throw that one up? What is Baylor's O line like? Can Citrus and JR get pressure and sacks? Citrus is good. I like that.
This is true right here.
That's true.
There you go.
But Iowa State hasn't lost I
don't know you any other way than the garage.
Yeah, Iowa State hasn't lost a game since my entire house was.
I was going to say it's become clear to me that the key to Iowa State having continued success is to continue to flood Matthias's house over and over and over.
We have a COVID year where we won a lot of games. People died, and then we have the flood year where
oh my god, are we just like where there's the college football version of Nick Castellanos? Every time something bad happens, Iowa State starts winning football games.
Fuck.
The hurricane makes it all the way up into the upper Midwest, and Iowa State wins 10 games.
A call and be like, dude, I sacrificed my house for you. All right.
You should.
Respect me.
Send like a piece of a door or something like that got broken, and be like, "This is the price I paid for 10 for 10."
This piece of furniture was sitting in shit water in my basement. You're welcome.
Classic.
So getting pressure is an interesting thing this week for a team that drops back and passes as many times as they do. You're going to need to get pressure, but our defense, as most of you know, isn't necessarily built for that. I'm interested to see Haycock's plan, and maybe it's a little different this week compared to a normal week. They're literally like 75% pass.
I mean, I would guess that they still do the start vanilla and just drop 8 type of thing, and then see what Baylor does, and then go from there.
And you got to get a feel like, can our guys beat these guys? Like 3-on-5, can we beat them? Right. If you can, then great. Baylor has no shot at winning the game. If you can't, then there's holes in the coverage. You got to a lot of the time, if we're going to get to the quarterback, one of two things has to happen. Your three guys just have to be way better than their five, and they just get there, or we're going to have to bring a design pressure. And
you either need a Will McDonald or you need a linebacker or something. Yeah.
We're not necessarily built on defense just to like take our D line and get to the quarterback on a consistent basis. But so that'll be interesting to see how it play. I don't know anything about Baylor's offensive line, but
they exist.
Well, you would think that like they're sufficient with as much as they throw the football, but it'll be interesting to see Haycock's plan and like more 4 down. Maybe that's what we see. That's what I'm saying. Like the game plan will probably be pretty evident as we get into the game, but I don't know if it's more pressure. If the quarterback's savvy enough, bringing more pressure can get you hurt on defense.
Let's see. Baylor has allowed 9 sacks this season. Through, I think they're 4-0.
That's not like
they played 5 games. They've allowed 9 sacks through.
It's not like abnormally high.
No, so they do an all right job of keeping their quarterback upright.
But whether it's more 4 down or more just called pressures, like I don't know. I'm not too worried. I'm not a defensive guy, but I'm not too worried about it because if there's anybody on the staff that I trust, it's Haycock. That guy's he'll figure it out. And if they don't figure it out in the first half, you bet your ass they got to figure it out in the second half.
Right. All righty. We got anything else we want to fire off before we finish this thing? God bless Dylan trying to drag this thing back on the rails. Dragging this podcast, kicking and screaming back on topic.
Get in there.
Yeah, we didn't get much into Houston, though, besides it sucked.
I mean, is there a lot? I mean, Houston's offense sucks so much that, like, obviously was never going to lose that game.
Yeah, it just was.
And
like,
nothing really happened in the game. Like, it was just, I mean, we had some big plays, which is good. Like, you love to see.
The offense never, you never saw them, like, try to really push the ball downfield. Like, we never saw, I don't think they took a single shot, like, down more than 20 yards downfield all game. Stuff like that. Like, I would say its offense really didn't try to do anything. It seemed to me like the offensive staff was perfectly fine to just, they understand that Houston just sucks. They're not scoring points. They're just not scoring points. And so we don't have to do anything that could theoretically lead to turnovers. We're just going to keep it super vanilla and basic. We're going to do the bare minimum to get some points and get out of town type of thing.
If there was a question from anybody in the country, what you did see is Jaden Higgins is him. He's that dude.
He's
that guy. You're not that guy, pal, but he is that guy.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Yeah. All righty, boys. Wrap her up.
We're waiting on you to talk, Matthias, so we can cut you off.
Yeah, no.
No, I ain't doing it.
You're not going to do what? What? Matthias.
You gotta get a clone cone. You got to praise the clone cone.
Clone cones, I would argue that clone cones are indeed the superior form of ice cream.
Over regular, like just any kind of regular, like